Welcome to the Breaking Burnout for Nurses podcast. I'm Bonnie Kitahata, your host, and I'm so excited to have Molly Bigley on my show today. Molly is been a nurse since about 2008, and she has worked in the emergency room. She's worked in a burn unit, and now she's working with me in an orthopedic inpatient unit. And she's a mom. She's got two boys, 10 and 8, and they're growing up too fast, right, Molly?
Always.
All right. So we have you on today because I always see you on your breaks reading a book. You got your nose in that book. And so I know you just love reading. And so I'm not a reader. I rarely read a book, honestly. But but I know that you love it. And so tell us a little bit about how, why you love it so much and how that helps you with stressing away your time.
Hi, Bonnie. Thank you for having me. Um, I have always been a big reader from high school and college. And then I kind of stopped, because kids come along and you don't have a lot of time for yourself for reading. Um, and it was probably no, maybe we're going on like 3 years ago. A book came out called Verity by Colleen Hoover. And it had a lot of buzz and it was twisty and crazy. And so I read that one. I think it was delivered by Amazon at 10 in the morning and I was done with it that evening. Um,
Wow.
so since then, I've just been reading a ton. I initially was reading paperbacks, and then 2 years ago, I got a Kindle, and my Kindle like changed everything because you can have multiple books, you can change the font, it makes everything great. Um, so yeah, now I read all the time, and then I do, some audiobooks, and yeah, I love it.
So what kind of topics do you like? I mean, do you always read dramas or, futuristic or historical, or do you like a variety of topics?
I do like a variety. I tend to like books that are easier to read. I do not read to make my life harder. Some books can be pretty complex and pretty, so I'm in a, people say they're mood readers. So it's like they just, read for their mood, which I feel like most people are. And I'm very much right now in a mystery thriller suspense mood. So I've been reading a lot of those. I enjoy romance a lot. I do enjoy some historical fiction, some like women's literature, some just regular fiction stuff. But mostly I vacillate between like thrillers and then romance. I don't like horror, not horror. So I like suspense
Mhm.
and thriller. And I do love legal mysteries. When I was younger, I read a ton of John Grisham.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you read a book, you just read one book all the way through, or do you kind of start on one and have another one? You don't have that one with you, so then you start reading another one, or do you just wait till you have that book with you?
Well, luckily, I've got my little Kindle here. It's very small and it really can fit
Okay.
anywhere. And this can have a million books on it. I mean, maybe not a million, maybe. So I do have that with me all the time. But I usually am only reading one book with my eyes at a time. And then I
Mhm.
am also usually listening to an audiobook. So
Oh,
it's two
okay.
books at a time, maybe three. If I need to be finishing one or starting another, um, for whatever reasons, but usually two. Yeah.
So is it kind of like a little escape from stress of work or stress of
Oh, absolutely.
whatever's going on in your life?
Yep.
You can kind of just,
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I like reading books. I know people, my 10-year-old always laughs and he's like, "You're either reading books about love or books about murder." And yeah, it's probably true. So to relax, I read about murder. Um, but yeah, it's fun. I like, books that I like small town books. So you get into all the characters and all the little idiosyncrasies and stuff. And, everyone loves a good romantic happy ending and everyone likes to catch the bad guy. So yeah, absolutely.
So are there any particular authors that you gravitate to, or
Yeah, like I said, I love John Grisham. I read all of
his books are pretty big and, a lot of pages
yeah.
there.
His books
I,
are
I,
big. A lot of them have been made into movies. I read a lot of his earlier books. I'm not really up to date to some of his newer books.
mhm.
I brought a few. Let me see. What do I have here? Like, this one's I'm going to do later. Like this one is good. We Were Liars. It's actually a show
We
now
Were
on,
Liars. Okay.
yeah,
We Were
We Were
Liars.
Liars. It's a show on, I don't know, one of the streaming channels. And I actually haven't watched the show yet. This is kind of a family drama mystery that has a pretty fantastic, shocking twist at the end. One of my absolute favorite authors is Carly Fortune. She's a Canadian author, and all of her books take place in Canada. They're all romance, but I feel like on a deeper level, some of the romances can be pretty superficial, which is fine. I love that. Some of them can be pretty spicy, which I don't love the super spicy ones. They're just great. This one is a second. This you can read as a standalone, but it's the brother of someone in another book. And this one is the one that came out this summer. I absolutely love her. She's an auto-buy author for me. Anything she writes, I will buy, I will read, and I know I love it.
Okay. Carly Fortune.
Carly Fortune, yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, hers are all, she does really good with scenery. All of hers take place in Canada. And, now I want to go to Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. Go visit her spots. Another one I love is Lila Sage. She does pretty spicy cowboy romances. So, everyone likes a sexy cowboy. Catherine McManus, she does like young adult thrillers, which I like. I am not a young adult. I'm a middle-aged woman, but I do like her books. And I was just thinking, I never knew there was so much murder on high school and college campuses, which there isn't, thank goodness. But I like her books. And then the next one I'm going to read, which is actually a pretty thick one. This was last year. It book. I would say one of the it books of last year. It's All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. I've heard great things. It's a small town mystery, I believe. But I haven't read that one yet. That one
Now that looks like a hardcover.
That is a hardcover. I don't love hardcovers as much. They're hard to transport. They're hard to hold in your hand. So sometimes I'll do, that was actually given to me as a gift. The Kindle is great because if you have a library card, you can use an app called Libby, Labby, and you can download all your library cards, and then they can send you library books to your Kindle.
Oh,
so that's great. And some libraries, you don't have to be a resident and you don't have to go into the library. So I have like multiple library cards from libraries to get different books. So this one I'll read on my Kindle. I actually have it from a library hold.
Oh, wow. That's
much easier to schlep around a Kindle than it is to schlep around a big, heavy hardback. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to share your Bookstagram. Tell me about Bookstagram, because I don't know what that is. And so just share that with us.
So when I started reading, I would share on my personal Instagram, which is private. I would always share a picture of the book on my Instagram story, which is what like goes away in 24 hours. So that's kind of at the top of your Instagram, and it goes. So I'd always share my book and then kind of a little blurb about what I liked about it or whatever. And I had friends that were always asking about books. And then I followed other Instagram pages that primarily focus on books. And then so a few reasons I started my Bookstagram. One, I had friends asking for references. And two, I like taking pictures. So I liked taking the book pictures. And three, I found that some of these Instagram people were getting books early from authors. And I have FOMO and I wanted books early from authors. So I started my little Bookstagram a year and a half ago. And I love it. I have gotten I don't have a ton of, I have like 3,500 followers, which is fine. And I do have a few, I guess they call you an influencer. So I am an influencer with a few different publishers and a few different authors. So I get to read their books early, and then I get to promote them on my Instagram page, and it's a blast.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And so that is called Molly's Pretty Bookish.
Yeah. So
Molly's MOLLYS _ pretty PRETTY _ and bookish BOOKISH. So if you want to follow her on Instagram, go check it out.
Yeah.
So
it's fun. It's just a fun outlet. Like I said, I enjoy taking pictures, and I enjoy reading, and people were asking about, what books I liked. So I figured it was a good outlet to kind of, be a little creative and share.
So it sounds like it just kind of happened naturally. I mean, you weren't really thinking of doing that ahead of time. I mean, that wasn't your
not
goal.
At all. No, I was reading and sharing anyways. And then I had, like I said, I'd have friend text me and say, "Oh, what are you reading now? What should I read?" And I've always enjoyed taking pictures, and I, and then I had followed a few Instagrams, and then, like I said, I was seeing them getting books early, and I'm like, I want a book early.
So it's like a book club, or?
No, so Bookstagram is just the name that people call, the niche, is that the word, niche, of books, of Instagram that promotes books, or of the people that primarily, Instagram, you can find someone that's all dog pictures and all nurse pictures and all, and so I'm all primarily books. So
okay.
It's not any sort of official thing. It's just what people call it. On TikTok, they call it book talk, but I'm not on TikTok. I don't do
okay.
that. I'm too old for that.
So then so as you talked about books on Molly's Pretty Bookish, as you talk about books, then the publishers take note of your interest in books,
so there's
and then
a few different ways. Some of like the independent authors, you work directly with the author. So on their Instagram, they'll say, "I'm looking for people to read my books. Fill out this form, and we'll see if you are a fit for us." So I've gotten a few that way. NetGalley is also it's a platform or a web page that kind of all the publishers use. So anybody can start a NetGalley account, and you can request books. And then the publishers review your platform and decide if you can read their books. So I've gotten books that way. And then I have I'm a influencer for a few different publisher groups as well, which is the same thing. They'll put on their Instagram, "We're looking for influencers." You fill out the form, and they kind of look at your platform and see if you're a fit for them.
Okay. So that was called NetGalley. NetGalley. So NetGalley. Or Okay. That's very awesome. You're an influencer, Molly.
It's fun.
I didn't know that.
I mean, like I said, I don't have a ton of followers, but it's fun, buying books can be a pretty spendy habit if you're, which I have too many books anyways. So it's nice to be able to get them from the library or get them early. And then, like I said, I share them on my Instagram and hope more people read them.
Yeah. Okay. That is really cool that you could belong to several libraries and just check them out for a while, and then you turn it back in the Kindle somehow.
All within the app. On the Libby app, you can get Kindle, and you can get audiobooks as well.
Okay, so that's LIBBY. Okay, great. Yep. Well, thank you, Molly, for being on my show and sharing all your information about your books. I keep saying I'm going to read a book, but the last book I read was years ago, and it was a John Grisham book. And it was it was Alaska, called Alaska. And it started with, he starts with like, the plates of the earth were shifting and, I mean, it's very detailed starting from way back, but then turns into this fabulous story. Anyway, so I would like to have you back on my show, because you mentioned audiobooks and podcasts and things. And so I'd like to have you back to talk a little bit about that, because there's many ways for people to decompress, right, with nurse burnout. So I would love to have you back. So my guests, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And if you want to get more information about Molly, I'm going to have a blog on my website, www.breakingburnout.com. And also, if you're not signed up on YouTube, sign up on YouTube for my podcast. It's called Breaking Burnout. I think it's Breaking Burnout 00. I think it's 23 or something like that. But anyways, Breaking Burnout, and subscribe, so then you can see when Molly is holding up the book, you can see what the book cover looks like and things like that. So please subscribe and share. All right, so everybody, we will see you next Monday at 10 o'clock. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.